Good day, everyone. Our topic for today is all about respondents and sampling method. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and hit the bell button for more updates. Also, you will find different subjects in this YouTube channel. Just select the playlist section. And now let's proceed to our main topic for today, which is all about respondents and sampling method. What is sampling? Suppose a researcher intends to study the employment status of the graduates of the program Bachelor in Secondary Education major in Mathematics in the Philippines from 2007 to 2015. He wants to know the average duration it takes after graduation for the said teachers to secure a permanent position in the Department of Education. So, meron daw isang researcher na gustong makita yung employment status ng mga BS Ed major in Math sa Pilipinas from 2007 to 2015. That is 8 years. He wants to know the average duration it takes bago maging permanent sa position ang isang pre-service teacher in the Department of Education. Question: would it be feasible or possible for the researcher to survey 100% of the group? Yes or no? The answer is no. What are the possible obstacles that the researcher would face as he goes along the research? Possible obstacles ay maaring patay na yung isa sa mga respondents niya. Another is, masyadong malawak ang Pilipinas para pag-aralin niya lahat yung mga respondents niya na BS Ed major. At masyadong matagal yung pagitan ng panahon, like 2007 to 2015. Ibig sabihin, 8 years. Lahat ng mga nag-graduate. So, imposibleng makuha niya lahat yun 100%. Is it right to select a few representatives from the group to answer the survey? The answer is yes. Dito napapasok yung tinatawag nating sampling. Sampling means selecting a particular group or sample to represent the entire population. So halimbawa, sa pangingisda, sa mga palaisdaan, gumagawa sila ng sampling. Kasi tinitignan nila yung sample ng isda na nakukunin nila kung pwede na ba silang i-harvest o hindi pa. At kung magkano yung presyuhan kapag harvest time na. So, yun ang tinatawag nating sampling technique that represent the entire population. Sampling is a process used in statistical analysis in which a predetermined number of observation or sample are taken from the larger population. So, since masyadong malaki yung number of population or very large yung number of population, pwedeng kumuha ka na lang ng mga samples. So, meron tayong dalawang sample dito. So, we have A and B. Population versus sample. And then may sample tayo dito na naka-scattered. And then yung population. Yung big circle ay population. And then may mga sample lang dyan. So, sampling technique. So, ano ba ang pinagkaiba ng dalawang yan? Okay, meron tayong sample lang na nandito lang siya sa isang side. And then yung population. And then may population tayo na malaki pero scattered yung sample niya. So, ano kaya ang pinagkaiba? So, tignan natin ngayon sa mga different types or techniques in sampling. Meron tayong dalawang uri ng sampling. May random sampling tayo. Random sampling is a sampling technique in which subject of the population get an equal opportunity to be selected as a representative. So, ibig sabihin ng random sampling is everyone has an equal opportunity to be selected. So, walang hindi makukuha. Halimbawa, meron akong number 1 to 75 na nasa fishbowl or nasa isang lalagyan. And then pipili ako doon. Basta nandoon siya sa isang lalagyan, lahat sila possible na pwedeng makuha or mabunot. May iba't ibang types tayo ng random sampling. Una, simple random sampling. Pangalawa, stratified random sampling, cluster random sampling, and multistage random sampling. On the other hand, another type of sampling technique is non-random sampling. Ito naman yung meron kang specific na target talaga dito. Kumbaga subjective siya. Meron tayong iba't ibang uri ng non-random sampling. Ito yung accidental random sampling, um, purposive or judgmental sampling, quota sampling, and snowball sampling. So, lahat yan i-discuss ko later. Dito muna tayo sa tinatawag nating simple random sampling. So, each individual in the sample is randomly chosen. Each individual has an equal chance to be selected. So, pag sabing simple random sampling, ito yung halimbawa, nakalagay ang pangalan ng mga estudyante ko sa isang box and then pipili ako ng 3 sa kanila. So, ang tawag doon sa sampling na yun ay simple random sampling. That's why, ang ibang tawag sa simple random sampling ay lottery random sampling. Kasi para siyang lotto. They pick numbers. While on the other hand, stratified random sampling is the population is divided into homogeneous group or strata. So a proportionate number of samples from each strata are randomly selected. Okay, pag sinabing strata, ito yung homogeneous siya. Okay, halimbawa, I want to study about the, let's say, about senior citizen in a one barangay. Okay, so 'di ba sa mga barangay may mga purok-purok 'yan. Okay, may mga street. Ngayon, doon sa mga barangay na 'yon, may mga senior citizens 'yan, for sure. So homogeneous group sila. Okay? Tapos stratified siya kasi yung sampling na gagawin mo is mga senior citizens. So, sila yung mga ikukunin mong mga data ngayon. Okay, yung mga senior citizens na naka-group na. Naka-group into homogeneous group. Okay? So, ang tawag doon ay stratified. On the other hand, pag sinabing clustered naman, the population is divided according to the pre-existing group or cluster. So, may cluster na siya. The sample is taken from the randomly selected cluster. Halimbawa, diba sa mga region, meron na tayong mga cluster dyan. Halimbawa, region A, it's one cluster. Region B, region 2, 3, 4, 5. Halimbawa, ang study ko is number of cases, or let's say, number of cases, HIV positive. Yung mga HIV positives na gusto kong pag-aralan. Okay, meron akong questionnaire na ibibigay sa kanila. Kaso, sa buong Pilipinas, dalawang region ang may pinakamaraming bilang. Ito yung Region 3 at saka NCR. So, yung Region 3 at saka NCR ang magiging pre-existing group ko or cluster na pipiliin ko to represent the entire Philippines. So that is cluster kasi meron ng grupo yan eh. Another, bisectioning sa school na lang, halimbawa, from grade 7 to grade 10. 'Di ba may mga section yan? So maaaring pipili ka na lang or magra-random ka na lang ng mga sections or ng isang section that will represent the whole curriculum or the whole grade level. Halimbawa, sa grade 7 may 4 na section. So pili ka lang ng isang section ngayon doon sa grade level na yon at yung isang section na yon ang magre-represent na sa buong grade level na grade 7. So cluster siya. Ibig sabihin, meron na talagang sectioning. Kaso, kukuha ka pa ngayon ng representation doon sa section na yon. Parang pinaghalo siyang cluster at saka simple random sampling. And finally, is multistage random sampling. Ito yung the sample is constructed by taking a series of simple random stages or samples in stages. Ibig sabihin, gagamit ka ng 2 or more random sampling. Okay, maaaring a combination of cluster and simple, a combination of stratified and cluster, etc. And then, for the non-probability or non-scientific sampling, ito yung mga non-random sampling naman. It is the opposite of probability. Here, the researcher judgment determines the choice of the sample. Ibig sabihin, ikaw yung pipili kasi at sila yung kailangan mo na respondents. Halimbawa, there are 3 kinds commonly used. Ano yun? Purposive sampling. Ano yung purposive? In this design, the samples are chosen based on the judgment of the researcher who determines an individual as sample for possessing special characteristics of some sorts. Halimbawa, ang mga pipiliin ko ay yung mga bulag, okay, na as my respondent. So that's purposive kasi meron ka ng specific respondents na pipiliin mo, mga bulag sila. So those are purposive. And then, mas konti lang yung mga numbers na kailangan mo kapag purposive. Hindi naman lahat ng mga bulag ay pipili mo. Halimbawa, gagamit pa rin ako ng simple random sampling. I mean, stratified, no? Stratified random sampling. Let's say sa isang barangay, maraming bulag doon. Okay? So, stratified. And then, dun sa mga napili ko, meron pa akong special characteristics pa. Like, for instance, bulag na nagahasa. For instance. So, yung mga nagahasa, or bulag na babae, yan. That's purposive. So, may specific characteristic siya. Purposive sampling, using personal judgment to select sample that should be representative. Example, this faculty seems to represent all teachers. Or selecting those who are known to have needed info, like interested in talking only to those in power. Snowball is a type of purposive, which is used with hard to identify groups such as addicts. Ayan, snowball is a type of purposive. Ano ba yung snowball? Halimbawa, may mga addict na, may addict. Siyempre, yung mga addict, hindi mo naman siya ma-determine na addict siya agad. I mean, hindi mo sila kilala agad na, ay, addict siya, ganon. Hindi. Magiging snowball siya kapag by referral. Halimbawa, meron kang isang kakilala na may kakilalang addict. Halimbawa, yung respondents mo, yung mga addict, na gumagamit ng ipinagbabawal na gamot. May kakilala ka na may kakilala siya na gumagamit ng ipinagbabawal na gamot. And then, pupunta ka doon sa kanya with, of course, with, ang tawag dito, consent. No? Dumaan ka ng proseso. And then, in-interview mo siya. Okay? Depende kung ano yung study mo sa kanya. So, in-interview mo siya. After mo siyang in-interview, nagtanong ka ngayon sa kanya, meron ka pa bang kakilala na ganito, na katulad mo, ganyan. So, usually, mga addict na tao, meron silang grupo. So, maaring may connection sila sa bawat isa. So, alam nila kung sino pa yung mga gumagamit pa ng ipinagbabawal na gamot na kailangan mo sa respondents mo. So, magiging snowball siya. Another, halimbawa, yung mga nakipaglaban sa panahon ng mga Hapon. Kung may nabubuhay pa, halimbawa. So, gusto mo malaman yung kanilang experiences. Yan, no? Snowball ang gagamitin mo. So, maaring meron kang isang kakilala na mayroong kakilala na nakipaglaban sa panahon ng mga Hapon. O di kaya nabuhay sa panahon ng mga Hapones. So, pinuntahan mo siya. And then, nagtanong ka sa kanya or nagtanong ka sa ibang tao, or maaaring sa kanya, na kung may kakilala pa siya, na ibang nabubuhay pa, na nabuhay noong panahon ng mga Hapones. So, i-refer ka niya ngayon sa ibang tao. Kaya referral, pagdating sa snowball. Okay? Incidental or accidental sampling. As the term implies, this design is used to take samples who may be the most available or the nearest at the time of data gathering. Ito yung parang incidental or accidental. Halimbawa, pumunta ka sa isang park kasi ang gustong malaman is yung happiness na nararamdaman ng mga OFW. And then, merong isang park doon ng park na kung saan every Sunday nagtitipon yung mga OFW doon para mag-picnic, ganun. So, incidental kasi nandoon na sila eh. So, in-interview mo na. So, ang tawag doon ay incidental or accidental sampling. Quota sampling, a design popular for opinion research. This sampling is made by looking for individuals that possess the required characteristics or prescribed criteria of the research. So, quota sampling ang tawag doon. Ang quota sampling is may criteria ka. Specific criteria din siya like purposive. Okay? Pero yung quota sampling is meron kang makukuha sa kanila. Okay? Na opinion or let's say meron kang idea na kailangan sa kanila. Halimbawa ng mga experts, no? Experts in mathematics. So, kailangan maghanap ng mga experts sa math. So, meron kang mga characteristics na kailangan bago siya masabi na expert siya sa math. And then, i-interview mo siya kasi kailangan mo yung kanyang idea para sa research mo. That's quota sampling. Okay? Ano naman yung mga questions na kailangan mong sagutin sa pagsusulat ng respondents? So, kapag nagsusulat ka na or nagdi-discuss ka na ng respondents, ito yung mga tanong na pwede mong sagutin. Who will be your respondents? How many are they? How will you choose them? Paano mo sila pipiliin? Or, what criteria will be your basis? What sampling are you going to use? Classify them into group or sections if needed. Kailangan nakadiscuss din kung anong grupo sila, ilang section sila, paano yung pagkakasectionin nila, ilan yung lalaki, ilan yung babae. Also included the local yung place and the time frame na nagagawin mo yung study mo. Halimbawa, from the 74 total number of master teachers in mathematics department in the division of Pampanga, an initial of 15 participants will be selected to participate in this study. Ayan. In order to arrive at the sample of experts, different criteria will be considered such as master degree holder in mathematics or master's mathematics education, was able to come up with at least one innovation in teaching mathematics or at least one action research, at least 5 years in the service, a personnel in the division of Pampanga, a master teacher 1 or 2 in mathematics, whether in a junior high school teacher or a senior high school teacher. So this is a criteria, characteristics para sa pagpipili ng 15 participants mo. Okay? Ayan. Meron pa. Also, availability and willingness of the participants to undergo through the process of the interview will be considered. The participants will be given a letter of consent if they want to undergo the interview process, and their decisions whether to accept or decline will be respected. Lastly, to check and validate the analysis and interpretation of the study, the researcher will consider different experts in the higher education who are graduates of Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics Education. So this is an example of discussion of the respondents. Now, sampling method. Sample naman ng sampling kasi na-discuss ko na yung iba't ibang sampling method. So, the sampling method that will be used in this study will be a random sampling, particularly lottery sampling. So, simple random sampling ang ginamit niya. From the total population of 41 students in General Academic Strand B, 23 of them got 75 to 79 grades in General Mathematics subject during the first semester of the school year 2018-2019, while from the total population of 40 General Mathematics Strand A, 25 of them got grades from the range of 75 to 79. Since the number of the respondents from the two groups are not equal, the researcher decided and choose 15 from each group. So, okay. From the experimental group, the number of male is 5 and the female is 10, while the control group, the number of male is 8 and the female is... And 14 for the... male is 8 and 14 female is... I think there's something wrong here. And the female is 7. All the 41 and 40 students from the two sections received the treatment for both control and experimental group, yet the subject of this research are already selected before the implementation of the treatment. So, this is sampling method, gumamit siya ng lottery sampling, and then in-explain niya paano siya naging lottery. So, yung sa lottery, in-explain niya na meron siyang dalawang group of students na 41 at saka 40. And then, ang ano niya, meron siya, actually purposive siya, in the sense na meron siyang 75, ang pipiliin niyang respondents ay yung mga students na nakakuha ng 75 to 79 na grade sa General Mathematics. So, sa Section B na 41, 23 ang meron, at sa Section C, from 40, 25 yung nakakuha ng grade na 75 to 79. Ngayon, dahil hindi sila pareho, gumamit siya ngayon ng simple random sampling na kung saan pumili siya ng 15 na students sa Group A and Group B. And then, dun sa 15 na yon, sa Group A yata is, Group A, 5 yung male, tsaka 10 yung female. Sa Group B, 8 yung male, 7 yung female. Okay, so ganun yung kanyang sampling method, which is actually na-explain naman dito sa kanyang discussion. So, those are the sample discussion of the respondents and discussion of the sampling method. So that's all about for the respondents and sampling method in practical research 2. With that, thank you very much for listening and good day.